The biggest event so far in this politically charged year is coming up in 3 days. On Super Tuesday, Republicans and Democrats will cast votes in 12 states.
Lots of delegates are up for grabs on both sides, meaning Super Tuesday will have a major impact on who is nominated for president by both parties. Here with a preview are Washington Post political reporter Philip Bump and Priscilla Alvarez, an assistant editor at The Atlantic, where she covers national politics. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Philip, let me start with you. Did the Christie endorsement surprise you?
It did. You know, I mean, Chris Christie is a sitting governor. I mean, Donald Trump until this week hadn't had any establishment endorsements like that. Then it's Chris Christie out of the blue. And I think what's really interesting about this is usually candidates look for endorsements that will help validate them to the people. And I think what this was Christie endorsing to validate Trump to the establishment. And I think that is why it's important. He doesn't bring a lot of votes. He dropped out because he didn't have a lot of support.
Right.
But I think from that standpoint, getting the establishment to say, okay, this is a guy you can deal with, I think that was very important.
Priscilla, remind us again, why is this so important, Super Tuesday, especially on the Republican side?
So Super Tuesday on the Republican side is a make or break moment for Ted Cruz. This is sort of his last stand. In Texas, they'll be coming out to the polls, and that is his home state. And while Cruz has the lead right now, they're closing in on him, Rubio and Trump. They were campaigning there this week, and they're getting close. And we're also going to have a lot of southern states come in and vote, and Trump has the lead there. He's done well among evangelicals. So if Cruz loses Texas and doesn't do well in the southern states, it may not bode well moving forward. And then in that case, we would see a different dynamic play out in the race, especially for Rubio.
Can the same be said for Rubio, who at the moment is behind in the polls in his home state, Florida?
So Rubio is going to really banking on Florida and Ohio. I mean, March 15th is going to be huge for him, and he doesn't have to win March 1st. He doesn't have to do great among getting delegates. But yeah, he's really going to have to come out in Florida to kind of push forward for that nomination.
Particularly if Cruz doesn't do well on Tuesday.
Right.
That sets Rubio up well.
Let me ask you, Philip, about Donald Trump. I mean, what does the political landscape look like for him now?
It looks great for him now, right? I mean, it's, you know, it's
unstoppable.
Not unstoppable. I mean, he's never unstoppable. And besides, like making predictions about what happens with Donald Trump is a fool's game at this point. But yeah, I mean, he's doing extremely well. He's well positioned for Tuesday. He's leading Rubio. I mean, this is the amazing thing. He's leading Rubio in Florida after Bush dropped out. So this theory that all the establishment people would line up behind Marco Rubio if they got out of the line, that's not true. I mean, he's leading him in Florida. Rubio insists he'll win Florida because he has to in order to keep his campaign alive. But yeah, Donald Trump is absolutely in the catbird seat.
Yeah. I'm curious, Priscilla, you look at the issue of Hispanic voters, which is a big one, obviously, for Democrats, but for Republicans, too. You've had two Hispanic candidates here, two of Cuban descent. But in fact, in Nevada, Trump actually won the Hispanic vote, didn't he?
He did, and but we have to consider how many went out, right? We had, of the caucus goers, 8% were Latino. So that's not necessarily representative of the country as a whole. But it was a clear indicator that, and it revealed that the two Cuban-American senators weren't really doing well with Hispanics. And that'll be important again in Texas, where 28% of Latinos are, make up the eligible voters in the state. So what who are they going to go for then? And that's something that will be really interesting to watch out for.
So, Philip, we saw yesterday Chris Christie endorsing Donald Trump, and I remember another high-profile endorsement, Sarah Palin, when she endorsed him. So you have Alaska coming up, 28 Republican delegates at stake. How does Palin's endorsement help Trump?
So Palin, the last time we saw any polling in Alaska was 2014. She was a net negative. People weren't super excited about Sarah Palin anymore. She's very popular as a governor. I don't think 2008 helped her in her home state. But I find it hard to believe there are a lot of people who really like Sarah Palin who didn't already like Donald Trump anyway. They're very similar in how they approach politics, very similar in their outsider status. So my guess is that her endorsement probably helped a lot more nationally than it would matter in Alaska itself.
Quickly, let's switch to the Democrats. What's at stake there on Super Tuesday? We've got South Carolina today. Clinton likely to win pretty big there. Right. She needs that?
Yeah, I mean, the question has always been, will the non-white vote save Hillary Clinton? South Carolina is going to be a blowout. It looks like, knock on wood, again, predictions fool's game. But it looks like because of non-white voter turnout, Hillary Clinton will do well. A lot of southern states, a lot of non-white voters. And that really will set her on the path towards the nomination, I think.
All right, Philip Bump and Priscilla Alvarez, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On Tuesday, our entire CBS News political team will bring you Super Tuesday results in prime time. Our special coverage begins at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central.